Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is the first day of the beginning of the Purusottama month, and it is almost 6 years since we started our online program. Hmm. Uh, This is the third Purushottam that we'll be observing. Uh, So in a span of 6 years, we have covered full Bhagavad Gita and also we are on the third canto. Okay. So we covered till the 20th verse that how by the curse of Mandavya Rishi, Dharmaraj or Yamaraj had to come down to the earthly planet and he manifested himself in the form of Vidur. Hmm. I know you are now Vidur due to your cursing of Mandavya Muni, and that formerly you were Yamaraj, the great controller of living entities after death. You were begotten by Satyavati's son Vyasadev in the kept wife of his brother. भगवान् भगवतो नित्यं सम्मतः सानुगस्यः यस्य ज्ञानो उपदेशय मदीशात् भगवान् व्रजान्. Your good self is one of the eternal associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for whose sake the Lord, while going back to his abode, left instructions with me. Wow. Bhavan Bhagavata Nityam. You are an eternal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sammata sa anugasya yasya jnana upadeshasya ma adishat bhagavan vrajan. So before leaving, he left instructions for you. What a fortune. Yamraj, the great controller of life after death, decide the living entities' destinies in their next life. He is surely among the most confidential representatives of the Lord. Such confidential posts are offered to great devotees of the Lord who are as good as his eternal associates in the spiritual sky. And because Vidura happened to be among them, the Lord, while returning to Vaikuntha, left instructions for Vidura and Maitreya Muni. Generally, the eternal associates of the Lord in the spiritual sky do not come to the material world. Sometimes they come, however, by the order of the Lord, not to hold any administrative post but to associate with the Lord in person or to propagate the message of God in human society. Such empowered representatives are called Shakti-Avesh-Avatar, or incarnations invested with transcendental power of attorney. So Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajans, is Shakti-Avesh-Avatar. All the 12 Mahajans are Shakti-Avesh-Avatar. They are Mahajana Yena Gatha Supantha. We are supposed to follow in the footsteps of these 12 great Mahajans. Athate Bhagavad Leela Yoga Mayura no. Athate Bhagavat Leela Yogamaya Urubhramita Yogamaya Urubhramita Vishwasthiti Ubhavanta Artha Varnayami Anupravashaha. I shall therefore describe to you the pastimes by which the personality of Godhead extends his transcendental potency for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic world as they occur one after another. The omnipotent Lord, by his different energies, can perform anything and everything he likes. The creation of the cosmic world is done by his Yogamaya energy. Bhagavan eka ashedhyama Bhagavan eka ashedam agra atmana atmanam vibhu atma iksha anugato atma Nanamati Upalakshana. The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. It is by his will only that creation is made possible and again everything merges in him. This Supreme Self is symptomized by different names. See how creation begins. The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation. What is the verse? The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. बोलिए, ये श्लोक तो सबको आता चाहिए. कौन सा वर्ष है ये? बोलो रियांशी. He is the one who existed before creation. क्या हुआ, भूल गई? मानिनी माता जी, आपको याद है?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। नहीं आते।
क्यों? सबको याद कराया था, कैसे भूल गई? प्रदीप, बताइए क्या इतनी बेसिक बात है. अरे प्रदीप, सुनाई नहीं दिया क्या इतनी देर से? स्पीक दी वर्स. सी साइलेंट. ऑल डल हेडेड पीपल. प्रियंका, आप बोलो.
प्रभु जी, अहम evāsam evāgre
ये
nānyad
सिंपल
सदसत
4 बेसिक श्लोक है भगवत भागवतम के, वो भी नहीं याद है तो फिर क्या कर रहे हो आप लोग? फिर क्यों भागवतम में अपना टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो? आप फिर आपका भागवतम का कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. हाँ, आपको याद नहीं कराया था नानी मनी नहीं. अहम एवासम एवाग्रे, तो आपको कुछ याद ही नहीं है, कुछ ध्यान ही नहीं है. तो यही नहीं पता कि भगवान क्रिएशन से पहले थे तो फिर तो वो भी क्रिएटेड हो गए. सब हौच पौच, इसलिए फिलॉसफी क्लियर कहाँ होगी फिर? The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. It is by his will only that creation is made possible and again everything merges in him. This supreme self is symptomized by different names. Exactly यही श्लोक है. aham evāsam evāgre nānyad sad-asat param. The great sage here begins to explain the purport of the 4 original verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. यही है, बार बार यही आएगा. अगर ये नहीं समझ में आया तो फिर भागवतम नहीं समझ में आई है. Although the followers of the Mayavadi impersonalist school have no access to Srimad Bhagavatam, they sometimes screw out an imaginary explanation of the original 4 verses. उनमें से एक हम भी होंगे, हाँ, impersonalist. But we must accept the actual explanation given herein by Maitreya Muni, because he, along with Uddhav, personally heard it directly from the Lord. The first line of the original 4 verses runs, aham evāsam evāgre. The word aham is misinterpreted by the Mayavadi schools into meaning which no one but the interpreter can understand. Here, aham is explained as the supreme personality of Godhead, not the individual living entities. Before the creation, there was only the personality of Godhead. There was no Purusha incarnation and certainly no living entities. Nor was there the material energy by which the manifested creation is affected. The Purusha incarnations and all the different energies of the Supreme Lord were merged in Him only. The personality of Godhead is described herein as the master of all other living entities. He is like the sun disk, and the living entities are like the molecules of the sun rays. This existence of the Lord before the creation is confirmed by the Shruti. Vasudevo va idam agra asin na brahmachana ja shankara eko vai narayana asin na brahmo na seshanaha. Because everything that be is in an emanation from the personality of Godhead, He always exists alone without a second. He can exist because he is all perfect and omnipotent. Except for him, all beings, including his plenary expansions, the Vishnu Tattvas, are his parts and parcels. In other words, both the Vishnu plenary expansions of the living entities, beginning from Brahma, are his parts and parcels. Before the creation, there was no Karnanavashai or Garbhodakshai or Shirodakshai Vishnu, nor there was Brahma or Sankara. Although the spiritual existence was there with the Lord, the material existence was dormant in him. Please try to understand. It does not mean that there was no spiritual existence. Although the spiritual existence was there with the Lord, the material existence was dormant. By his will only is the material manifestation done and undone. The diversity of the Vaikuntha lokas is one with the Lord, just as the diversity of soldiers accompanying a king is one with him. Bhagavad Gita 9.7 confirms that the material creation takes place at intervals by the will of the Lord, and that in the period between dissolution and creation, the living entities and the material energy remains dormant in him. Dormant in whom? Material creation takes place at interval by the will of the Lord. What is the verse? कल्पक्षय पुनस्थानी कल्पादो विसृजामि हम सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिम यान्ति मामेकाम कल्पक्षय पुनस्थानी कल्पादो विसृजामि हम. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Savaisha tadadrasta नापशादृश्याम एकरात मेने अनाथ मेने मेने अशांतम मेने अशांतम इवात्मानम सुप्त शक्तिर अशुप्त दृक्. The Lord, the undisputed proprietor of everything, was the only seer. The cosmic manifestation was not present at that time, and thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. The material energy was dormant, whereas the internal potency was manifested. The cosmic manifestation was not present at that time, and thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. अच्छा, बहुत important है. प्रभुपाद explain करेंगे. The Lord is a supreme seer because only by his glance did the material energy become active for cosmic manifestation. At that time, the seer was there, but the external energy over which the glance of the Lord is cast was not present. He felt somewhat insufficient, like a husband feeling lonely in the absence of his wife. Oh. This is a poetic simile. The Lord wanted to create the cosmic manifestation to give another chance to the conditioned souls who were dormant in forgetfulness. This is the real reason. The Lord wanted to create the cosmic manifestations to give another chance to the conditioned souls who are dormant in forgetfulness. The cosmic manifestation gives the conditioned soul a chance to go back home, back to Godhead, and that is its main purpose. This is the purpose of creation. The Lord is so kind that in the absence of such manifestation, he feels something wanting, and thus the creation takes place. Although the creation of the internal potency was manifested, the other potency appeared to be sleeping. And the Lord wanted to awaken her activity, just as the husband wants to awaken his wife from the sleeping state for enjoyment. It is the compassion of the Lord for the sleeping energy that he wants to see her awaken for enjoyment, like the other wives who are awake. It is the compassion of the Lord for the sleeping energy that he wants to see her awaken for enjoyment, like the other wives who are awake. The whole process is to enliven the sleeping conditioned soul to the real life of spiritual consciousness, so that they may thus become as perfect as the ever liberated soul in the Vaikuntha Lokas. Since the Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha, he likes every part and parcel of his different potencies to take part in the blissful rasa, because participation with the Lord in his eternal Ras Leela is the highest living condition, perfect in spiritual bliss and eternal knowledge. 1 minute, I will take a break. There is one service which I did not do. 1 second. Then I will miss. Okay, we continue. The whole process is to enliven the sleeping conditioned soul to the real life of spiritual consciousness, so that thus they may become as perfect as the ever liberated souls in the Vaikuntha Lokas. Since the Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha, he likes every part and parcel of his different potencies to take part in the blissful rasa, because participation with the Lord in his eternal Ras Leela is the highest living condition, perfect in spiritual bliss and eternal knowledge. Sa eva etasya samdrishtau sakti sad-asat atmika maya nama mahabhaga yedam nirmame vibhu. The Lord is the seer, and the external energy which is seen works as both cause and effect of the cosmic manifestation. O greatly fortunate Vidura, this external energy is known as Maya or illusion, and through her agency only is the entire material manifestation made possible. The material nature known as Maya is both the material and efficient cause of the cosmos. But in the background, the Lord is the consciousness for all activities. As in the individual body, and consciousness is the source of all energies of the body. The material nature known as Maya is both the material and efficient cause of the cosmos. But in the background, the Lord is the consciousness for all activities. As in the individual body, the consciousness is the source of all energies of the body. So the supreme consciousness of the Lord is the source of all energies in the material nature. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10 as follows. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam hetunane na kaunteya jagadvi parivartate. Throughout all the energies of material nature, there is the hand of the Supreme Lord as the final superintendent. Due to this supreme cause only, the activities of material nature appear planned and systematic, and all things regularly evolve. Okay, I will stop here and I will talk a little bit of Purushottam Mass. Very important, this Purushottam Mass. And for us, it is very important because it is only because of Purushottam Mass that we started. Of course, COVID also. There was COVID. I remember very well when we were almost half done. I don't know. Or we were not half done. Purushottam Mass was beginning. And Ravinder, you were there? You had come to the temple? It was 2020.
नहीं पूछ
आपने कब से ज्वाइन करना चालू किया? 2020 में नहीं किया था?
2020 दिसंबर
2020 दिसंबर। शुरू से कौन कौन है? मनोराम? You were there since beginning or no?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji, we are there. Yeah.
Then maybe Dayashil was there. They had come to the temple. That was Sunday. So I told that let us start online class. That was the first online class. It was the first day of Purushottam Mass. And in that month, we discussed only Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter. Who was there? Who all was there? Pradeep, you were not there? Huh?
I'm there.
You were there? And Dayashil, you were not there?
I was there, Prabhuji. I was there.
Then why you are not raising your hand? We started with very few, 4, 5 only. But that month, I remember Manoram was telling me that in my dream also this verses of Bhagavad Gita is coming. Purushottam Yoga. But now those dreams are lost. Now you don't get any such dreams, Manoram? Okay. I was reading today in the morning, I gave class here. So some important aspects of Purushottamam, although we know it, but still it is better to again review it so that we don't miss out. So try in this month. This month is as auspicious, more auspicious, it is said, than even Kartik. Should not miss out. Yeah, okay. You can see the screen. So His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj, he is the main person in ISKCON now, after Srila Prabhupada, who is translating the Shastras. He has given his recommendation for how to observe the Purushottam Mass. So Maharaj says, arise by Brahma-muhurta daily, 1.5 hours before sunrise. You should not wake up after 4. None of you. 4 is maximum. Best is if you can wake up at 3:50. But for that you have to sleep at 9:30. कितना टाइम हो गया वहाँ? 9:30 हो गया क्या? ओ 9:15 हुआ है। 9:15 हुआ। कल से चेंज हो जाएगा। कल से तो मैं इंडिया में आ जाऊंगा। फिक्स इंक्रीज चैंटिंग महाराज सीधे 25 से ही कर रहे हैं। 25, 32, 68, 128 आपका चॉइस है, कुछ मर्जी सेलेक्ट कर लो। हाँ, कुछ भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, इतना फ्री चॉइस है। 25, 32, 64, 128 ये 4 में से कुछ भी सिलेक्ट कर लो। फिक्स्ड हियरिंग, रीडिंग एंड वर्शिपिंग pastimes of Radha Krishna. Sing bhajans and kirtans specifically glorifying Yugala Kishora Radha Krishna. So that you can do. You can add Jaya Radha Madhava, Radhe Jaya Madhava dayite, Radha-Krishna prana Radha-krpa kataksh, Nandanandana Ashtakam, Tulsi Aarti prayers, with deep prayers for longing meditation. Offer daily ghee, pure cow ghee only. महाराज ने स्पेशली लिखा है. Lamb to Radha Krishna Deity or photo. Bath daily in Yamuna around sunrise. तो बताए कैसे? गंगे चे यमुने चेवा गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जले अस्मिन् सानिधि. ये आप रोज सवेरे करके मंत्र पढ़ के और उस भाव से और उसके बाद स्नान करिए. 3 चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं इसमें. सबसे पहला ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में स्नान करना. हाँ. और पवित्र सरोवर में या नदी में स्नान करना, उसके लिए मंत्रोच्चारण करिए. दूसरा, अपनी चैंटिंग बढ़ाइए. ज़्यादा नहीं तो कम से कम 2 राउंड जो कर रहे हैं उससे ज़्यादा बढ़ाइए. मिनिमम 2 राउंड बढ़ाइए. ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं तो और अच्छा है. और तीसरा, दीप, लैंप. लैंप जरूर दिखाइए राधा कृष्ण को. अगर आपके पास राधा कृष्ण नहीं है तो गौर निताई, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य, राधा कृष्ण नहीं अन्य. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा को भी दिखा सकते हैं. डीटीज हैं तो डीटीज, नहीं तो फोटो. ठीक है. किसी का कोई प्रश्न है तो पूछिए. यस देयर शिल प्रभु, बोलिए.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
बोलिए नम्यो.
प्रभु जी 25 नंबर वर्स में माया इज बोथ द मटेरियल एंड एफिशिएंट कॉज ऑफ द कॉस्मोस.
हाँ, मैंने भी पढ़ा ही है. मारिया इज बोथ दी, लेकिन आगे क्या लिखा है? आगे सेंटेंस पढ़ो, नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस.
बट इन द बैकग्राउंड द लॉर्ड इज द कॉन्शियसनेस ऑफ ऑल एक्टिविटीज.
आगे भी पढ़ो और क्लियर हो जाएगा.
As in the individual body, the consciousness is the source of all energy of the body. So the
हम्म,
supreme consciousness of the Lord is the source of all energies in material nature.
ठीक है.
This is
भगवान डायरेक्ट नहीं करते हैं ना. भगवान डायरेक्ट कॉज एंड इफेक्ट नहीं बनते हैं. इट इज इनडायरेक्टली थ्रू हिज एनर्जीज. ठीक है. हरे कृष्ण.
प्रभु जी ये 24th वर्ष में लिखा हुआ है जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ में,
पढ़िए.
since the Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha, he likes every part and parcel of his different potencies to take part in the blissful rasa, because participation with the Lord in his eternal rasa leela is the highest living condition, perfect in spiritual bliss and eternal knowledge.
तो भगवान इनवाइट कर रहे हैं भैया, उनके रास लीला में आ जाओ. इसलिए बार बार क्रिएशन करते हैं ताकि जो कंडीशन सोल है कम से कम डिजायर करें. डिजायर करेंगे तो फिर उसके बाद क्या करेंगे? दे वुड वांट टू लीव द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड एंड दे विल डिजायर टू कम टू द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड. तो भगवान पॉसिबल करा देंगे. अभी भगवान का बताया ना, मैं पढ़ रहा था, 2 बार पढ़ा मैंने. भगवान को पूरा रसा नहीं, आस्वादन नहीं हो रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि उनके हृदय में जो करुणा है वो द्रवित है, ये देख करके कि इतने सारे जो जीव है वो अभी भी क्या है, सुप्त अवस्था में पड़े हुए हैं, कॉम्पैक्ट महाविष्णु के फॉर्म में. तो जब तक उनका उद्धार नहीं होगा, भगवान बार बार क्रिएशन की अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करते रहते. ठीक है. हरे कृष्णा. आज पुरुषोत्तम ने ज्वाइन नहीं किया, बहुत वो भी बीच बीच में गायब होता रहता है. और कौन नहीं है? ये भाग्य से नहीं, वो अपना मोबाइल बंद कर रखा है. चलो खैर, थैंक यू वेरी मच. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी. हरि हरि बोल.